Yo, what is going on, guys? Got an absolutely insane video for you here today that was sent to me to the point where I don't even know how to intro it, okay? So here we have a woman who, of course, is a womanist, and she absolutely despises men, okay? Apparently we are evil, you know, we're oppressive, we're violent, we're all of these absolutely terrible things, and we deserve to suffer from a loneliness epidemic, is what she is saying. Now, guys, today's clip was sent to me by Maverick Man 101. I'm going to leave a link to his channel in the pinned comment, so make sure you go and check him out if you're interested. But let's just jump straight into this one, guys, and let's take a listen to what this professional victim has to tell us on her 10-minute rant. We'll see how much we can stomach together. Let's jump in.
Men will never be lonely enough, in my opinion. This is, in fact, why we have governments, why we have all these oppressive systems working against us as women, because men refuse to accept the consequences of their own actions. And we've sat here for hundreds of years looking at all of these governments and systems of power and wondering why they don't represent our interests as women. And as soon as they start to, even a little bit, the men come back in and perform a hostile takeover.
So right off the bat, guys, you know, we as men, we're just out here to oppress women. You know, that's why governments were established, okay? They were, you know, all of society is against women. You know, men, we do these hostile takeovers if it looks like women are going to get represented in some form of way. The usual stuff, guys. The system is against women, which, just by the way, the system, as it were, is not against women. It actually facilitates women robbing men, taking their assets, taking their children, and so on. It also incentivizes them more than men to get into positions of power, believe it or not, these days. Maybe not power, but certainly well-paying ones, industries that they shouldn't even perhaps be in based on merit. There was a dude, guys, recently that submitted a whole bunch of applications as a man, completely failed, and then changed it for a woman's name. And then, of course, there was something like a ridiculous % increase in the amount of contact that he received back, guys. Like, let's not kid ourselves here. Women are absolutely gifted in the labor market. They are benefited by being women, but of course women are oppressed, guys. Society is bad, you know, men are bad, and so on.
This is because men need women to exist, and not just some of us, they need all of us, because that is how much labor we have to do in order for them to exist in the society that they built, which is what they'll claim.
I don't know, this isn't a claim, this is true. Men built society. Men quite literally built the world. Okay, I don't understand why she's putting this in quotations. You know, oh, men built society, she says in quotations. What do you mean quotations? They did. Men did. You know, this woman has some sort of, let's just say her toilet breaks, okay? Who do you call? You call a male plumber, right? Let's just say your electricity stops working. Electrician, probably a male. Okay, you get your things delivered. Who do they get delivered by? Truck driver, probably a dude. Like, these women don't even understand that society is built and maintained to this day by men. They can't comprehend it. Now, yes, there are a small fraction of women who go out here and do these things. You know, you do have female construction workers and bricklayers and so on. But let's not kid ourselves here. They are the minority, and the reason why they are the minority is because they don't want to do it, and also a lot of them cannot do it.
Not only that, that society has built in speed bumps and roadblocks and glass ceilings for women, and men are still not happy. Men are still not happy with women not participating in that system, with women opting out of doing all the labor while the men take all the credit.
Nobody cares. Madam, if you don't opt into the labor market, nobody cares. Nobody will miss you. Oh, men need me. Men need women to do this labor. No, they don't. Dudes have been doing labor pretty much themselves the whole entire time. Now, guys, I will say this, okay? Credit to the women out there who are in these sorts of fields, you know, putting in the work, building society, maintaining society, but that's a very small percentage of them. And I'm not saying, by the way, the other things that women do aren't important. For example, right, let's just say you have a mother, okay? She's not necessarily out there building society. She's at home raising kids. That doesn't mean that that's not a very important job as well. You know, I'm not trying to downplay the other things that women have traditionally done, for example. but like nobody needs you to be running the electricity, madam. Like, we're fine, thank you very much.
Men always say we build society. Who made all the people? Who made all the people that are in that society? Please tell me.
Men and women. Like, this woman is a complete clown, guys. Like, I'm so sick of hearing this argument. You need us to procreate. Like, yeah, obviously both genders need each other to procreate. Like, what are we? You know, like if women, by the way, if women want to opt out of dating and having children, goodbye. You're welcome to do that. Nobody cares. Trust me, men are beyond the point of giving a damn if women opt out. A lot of dudes have already opted out, hence the fact that these women can't even find a relationship. Do you ever find that funny, guys? How these women, you know, who make these videos are perpetually single. No man ever wants them. No man ever commits to them. These dudes, a lot of men do not care if you opt out whatsoever. This is an empty threat. I saw a comment the other day, guys. It's very hard for these women to play hard to get if they are hard to want. And I'm behind that, man.
What society would you have if there were no people? Exactly. You need women. I just heard somebody on TikTok say that she's not a feminist and doesn't care about equality because women are better than men. Like, it's not about equality, it's about facts. And honestly, I've never thought about it that way, but I'm very inclined to agree because...
Yeah, of course you're inclined to agree because you're essentially just a female chauvinist. You think that women are better than men. Guys, I don't have an opinion as to one gender. Oh, one gender is better than the other, okay? Each gender does different things better than the other. For example, I can't give birth, okay? This is beyond my capabilities, all right? There are things that genders do differently to one another. There are things that they do better and worse. And that's just the way it is. Nobody's better than another person. But people who think like this, man, like, I don't know. I don't think that anyone's necessarily better than another person. Now, if you go out here and you start committing crimes, then I'm going to just think you're a scum, you know? Like, that's going to be the way I think about you. But I don't inherently believe people are just better than one another. I don't particularly care. I'm not really in that boat. But she loves to believe this, right? She loves to believe that women are better than men.
Imagine that the entire system has been rigged for you in order to push and propel you forward for hundreds of years. Like, since the dawn of existence, we have proof that men have rigged the system for themselves and against us women, and just anyone in general that they view as inferior in society, but especially women. And as always, this applies intersectionally with people of color and white people, but imagine how debilitatingly sad and useless you have to be at your core to have everything rigged for you, to have the system just designed to push you through at every level, at every rank, to push you through despite your incompetence, despite your mistakes, despite all of your downfalls. And that system only functions as long as y'all are the only ones in it.
This woman thinks, guys, that society is geared towards propelling men forwards. That is absolutely hilarious. Oh, you know, guys, don't worry. You can be incompetent. Society will just prop you up. No, this isn't how this works. If you're a dude and you're incompetent, you're lazy, you know, you're not ambitious, you don't try and push yourself, reality is going to kick you in the backside very damn quickly. Okay, you're not an attractive guy, you don't make money, well, guess what? No women are looking at you, my friend. You know what I'm saying? Like, you'll be immediately punished. Nobody will care about you. And that's the way it goes, guys. Like, if you're a dude and you do not provide anything to other people, nobody cares about you. There's a saying, man, you know, men are loved for what they provide, and no, that's not it. There's another one. It's like, you know, the only people who are loved unconditionally are women, children, and dogs, or something like that. Men are loved under the condition that they provide something, and that is absolutely true. I don't believe that the system is designed for men to succeed. Okay, if anything, dudes wanting to succeed these days is actually frowned upon. Like, traditionally masculine men who put in the work, they do the hard yards and so on. Like, these guys are basically crucified these days. You know, you look at modern day media, you look at modern day representations of men, guys, and what men are encouraged to be is weak slobs who don't know anything, who are full of social anxiety and so on. Like, guys, go and look at the protagonist of, you know, there's like that Spider-Man game recently It's just like all the dudes are complete bumbling idiots. That's what men are encouraged to be these days. It's ridiculous.
As soon as you let anybody else in, they not only can like catch up to you really easily, they start outperforming you. They're like, without any debate or question, better than you at all the things that you've bragged about being able to do exclusively for hundreds of years. And then here comes these people that you have made out to feel like dummies, to feel like they're useless, like they're inferior, like they could never do what you do. And they come in and in less than like 30 years completely level the playing field and start walking all over you. And then you cry loneliness and dehumanization and diversity, equity, and inclusion, and you blame all of those things for ruining what was a perfectly good system that only worked for you. Like, imagine other people's success being such a roadblock to you that you don't even know what to do with yourself, and you just shut yourself off in your basement and you start playing video games and like drinking or doing drugs your life away.
Okay, so let's stop it here. This woman just said a whole bunch of nonsense right there. So are we talking about, all of these completely competent individuals who were just brought up? So, guys, you've got the inclusive programs that, for example, recruited the firefighters over in LA. Is that what we're talking about? Because that didn't seem to work too well. All of this DEI crap, by the way, that this woman is actually talking about, these people are not necessarily fit for the job. I think we've seen some pretty solid examples of that recently. A lot of people, in fact, lost their homes. There's that firefighter clip that's been rolling around a lot. Maybe I'll ask my editor to play it. Who just gaslights people into thinking that it's their responsibility to try and save themselves from a fire. Like, roll the clip. We'll roll it right now.
You want to see somebody that responds to your house, your emergency, whether it's a medical call or a fire call, that looks like you. It gives that person a little bit more ease, knowing that somebody might understand their situation better. Is she strong enough to do this? Or, you couldn't carry my husband out of a fire, which my response is, he got himself in the wrong place if I have to carry him out of a fire.
Like, if that's the kind of, diversity and things that this woman is pushing for, and these people are so damn competent, like, hey, here's what happens. The dudes get replaced with people like this, and they just check out, man. They're like, okay, peace. I'm going to go play my video games. We'll see how it works out for you. And let me tell you, it doesn't work out very well. A lot of these companies fail. A lot of these people who do this kind of recruitment completely fail. And it's absolutely hilarious to watch it all go down. Now, unfortunately, there's oftentimes a lot of victims in the process who suffer from people who are not necessarily competent being in jobs, for example, that they shouldn't be in anyway. So yeah, dudes have opted out. A lot of guys are walking away. They're doing it, whatever it is that they want to do. And, but you're strong and independent. You can do it without us, right? You built society. You maintain society. Men didn't build anything. So you should be totally fine, I'm sure.
You are, in fact, not lonely enough. If that is how little it takes to completely throw you off your balance, your equilibrium, to throw you into the hatred of your own fellow human being because you feel like they shouldn't have measured up to you at all, because you feel like they were so inferior to you to begin with.
Okay, so first of all, it's not about hating these people. It's not about thinking that they're inferior. Perhaps people just aren't qualified for the jobs that they're applying for. Do you ever think about that? It's not hatred, to be honest. It's just straight up indifference. That's really what it boils down to. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you want to be in these sorts of positions, even though you don't meet the merit to get into them, I mean, the consequences are going to come at some point or another. So, like, it's really not all that. Oh, you hate these people. You think that they're inferior. No, I just think that if you're looking at jobs, you're looking at positions of power and so on, they should be merit-based, not because you're a woman. You shouldn't get a position just because you're a woman, or just because you're a particular color, or just because of XYZ. You should get the positions if you're qualified to be in the positions. I don't understand what's so hard to swallow about this. Now, if you can't get those positions because you're not qualified enough, you can't actually do them, not my problem. You shouldn't be doing them in the first place. You put a lot of people at risk, right? Even if your job does not constitute saving people, for example, you put your companies at risk. Oftentimes the work output is worse, and so on.
that they shouldn't have even had the chance to prove that they could keep up with you or outperform you or whatever. And then not only that, but on top of that, you also blame them for everything that goes wrong, as if you weren't the one that designed the system that failed.
Wait. So let me get this straight. If we employ people and then things go terrible on their watch, we can't blame them? I'm sorry, but how does this make sense? Oh, but the system was designed. It was terrible. No, the system worked fine when the men were doing it. The system worked fine when the people who were fit for the positions were doing those positions. But now, because you wanted to be included, because you're oh so needed, and things go upside down and they go terribly, well, it wasn't your fault because the system was rigged. Oh, shut up.
That means you designed a shitty system. If letting other people into the system completely crumbles it from the inside out, that means the system was rigged.
Oh my goodness. No, it means that the people couldn't do their jobs. This woman is absolutely bonkers, guys. So she thinks, right? Let's just say, I don't know, you've got a bunch of truck drivers, okay? But no, we need women in the fields, okay? So you put a bunch of women in, and all of a sudden there's a bunch of crashes and things aren't going well, for example. Well, we need to blame the system because that's the system that the men set up. Maybe the women weren't qualified for that particular position and they shouldn't have been there, right? If it all falls apart when you join the system, maybe it's not the system at all. Maybe it's the person who's damn well operating the thing. These people are so intelligent. They're really smart. They're very intelligent, is what I was going to say.
That means the system was not good. That means the system existed only to serve one type of person. And it means that the system was rigged for that type of person. If y'all get mad seeing a black woman get promoted over a white man who might have been just as qualified, that's where that racism, that's where that sexism really lies. Because you're like, well, what if a man was more qualified?
Okay, so try telling that to all of the people that lost their homes in the LA fires, for example. Oh, you just don't like this particular type of person. It actually has very little to do with the type of person and whether or not they're actually capable of doing their job. I'm pretty sure, guys, most people do not care who the hell comes and fixes their sink, as long as somebody can actually do it. Right? Like, I don't care what the person looks like. I don't give a damn if the person's underweight, overweight. I don't care what color they are. I don't care if they're tall, short, smart, or dumb, or whatever the case may be. If you are getting somebody to do a job, all that realistically matters is, can they actually do the job? You know? Like, are they safe to be doing it, and can they be doing the job? That's all people generally care about. Now, yeah, you'll have some people out there who actually it bothers them. But for the most part, people don't actually give a damn as long as the job is done at the end of the day.
And it's like, no, that's the question we have been asking. We have been asking, what if a woman was more qualified? What if a black person was more qualified? A question can be asked on both sides. But unless you have this perceived superiority in whiteness or maleness, then you're not going to be asking that question. So to all the men crying about, loneliness epidemics and like how women don't care about them, just remember that your grandfathers and even some of your fathers were okay with marrying a woman just to lock her up and have her barefoot and pregnant in the kitchen for the rest of her entire life.
Okay, so let's pause it here for a second. Nobody is crying that women don't care about them. Okay, this is just a fact of life. Men understand, women don't particularly care. Nobody cares if the women walk away or if the women withdraw all of the bedroom intimacy or the relationships. This changes absolutely nothing, guys. Like, there was this movement recently, okay, where you had all of the 4B women who were like, yeah, we're not going to marry men, we're not going to have children, no more intimacy. And that fell apart within, 33 days, being generous. To be honest, I think it never even began. I think these women are still hooking up with the dudes that they find attractive. But trust me when I say, madam, these dudes are not crying about being lonely or they're sad that women are going elsewhere. Nobody cares, and just because a dude is alone doesn't mean that he's lonely per se. There are a lot of guys who actually enjoy their peace. They want to be by themselves. They've had enough. Maybe they've worked hard. They've got their retirement sorted. And they're not looking for headaches like you. They're not looking to marry women like you. In fact, the dudes who are looking to marry, a lot of them completely avoid women like you altogether. You know, they go to other countries. They go into the middle of nowhere. They do not want to marry some TikTok womanist, okay? Trust me when I say you are completely safe from the evil men. You can go out there, you can leave men, nobody will miss you. That's just the way it goes. Nobody, I don't even know this woman's name, guys. You know, I don't think this woman will be missed whatsoever.
So that he can go to work, so that he can have freshly ironed pants in the morning, so that he can have coffee and breakfast made for him in the morning, because that was the only way that he could succeed.
Okay, how about you go out there and you do all of the work then, right? Why don't you go out there, you provide for the man, and then he sit at home and he does the housework? Women don't like typically doing this, by the way, right, guys? Like, you think that women are out here choosing stay-at-home husbands? No, they want the dude who's rich and successful. Ironically enough, guys, women oftentimes preferred it this way. Right? A lot of girls are actually realizing it these days. They don't want to work. They want to be a stay-at-home wife. They want to be a stay-at-home girlfriend or a mother and things like this. But oh, it's too late now. Now both of you have to work because you're so strong and empowered. You know, there was a time, guys, where men could go out there, they could work, they could provide for their family. The woman stayed at home, she did the housework, the men went out, they did the work, and they returned home, they made money. Everybody was more or less happy. But now, you know, you're strong and independent. You can go work the 9 to 5. Why don't you take care of a man? But these women do not provide for men, guys. Women do not provide for dudes on a long-term basis. They might do it for a little bit. They might do it for the men who are attractive or if they really need to in order to have children. But women do not like doing this across a long-term time period at all.
And I'm convinced that men only even exist in such large numbers because they have hoarded the power and the resources and have made women dependent on them for resources. Because otherwise it would be really hard to convince women to mate with most 90% of these creatures. Because these are the same creatures that when they get lonely, instead of going out, bettering themselves, working on themselves, anything like that, they will start a group chat, 70,000 men strong, and figure out how to assault, grape, unalive their fellow human beings.
Okay, so let me stop you there. Number one, calling men creatures. Good one. I don't know how this woman's video is not taken down, guys. If I go out here and I call women the same things and I say that women are evil and so on, I guarantee you my crap would be banned like very damn quickly. But also, I don't feel the need to go out there and, you know, level these sorts of insults and things. Like, you know, guys, like I don't hold the same beliefs as this particular woman. But trust me when I say, like, I and also the men that I know, we're not out here trying to figure out how to do harm to you, madam. Like, the average dude is not some evil guy who's going to join a group chat with the specific intention of doing something horrible to you. No, in fact, I think that's stupid, and I think the majority of dudes think that that's stupid. The majority of guys are not going to do that, and the majority of guys, just to be honest, want to live in peace. You know, live and let live. Women want to go out there, they want to screw around with bad boys and waste their life, fine. They don't want to do that, fine. It's no big deal. But apparently, guys, we are creatures and we're just out here to harm women. It's like, no. The average guy would rather probably play Call of Duty or something than to deal with women like you.
Just because those fellow human beings are women. I'm also convinced that other men let them get away with this kind of disgusting predatory behavior because they know that if women were no longer threatened, that if women didn't live in fear, that if women could depend on men to be decent human beings, women would turn around and leave.
Okay, so first of all, leave. Nobody cares. Like, if women want to leverage these threats, guys, that's totally fine. Just do it. Like, follow through. If you want to leave, leave, first of all. So there's that. Nobody's stopping you. Like, the door is right there, madam. Stop dating dudes. Stop chasing bad boys. You're welcome to do it at any point in time. That's first of all. Second of all, the average dude is not interested in trying to make you scared. Okay, the average guy is not. These women think that men, we're just out here trying to oppress women. You know, we're just these evil fellas walking around, okay, and our whole goal in life is to make women miserable and scare them and all of these sorts of things. No, the average guy does not care. The average guy is you know, working a tough job probably, or he just wants to relax and play some video games at the end of a hard day's work. That's probably your average dude. Or he wants to go fishing or something. The average dude is not out here thinking of strategies to make you feel like you're unsafe in any capacity. Men are actually, you know, men are just so much more indifferent towards they think that they're like the center of the universe, guys, that men are just out here actively thinking about them every second of the day. I want to stress this. I don't even know what this woman's name is. I don't care even trying to figure it out. Not interested, man. But apparently, guys, we're just out here scoping out how to, you know, how to treat women terribly, apparently. Like, I don't know, man.
These men are not considered a menace to society. They're actually considered a boon to keeping things status quo, to exactly as they are right now, which benefits most men. And if men were real providers and protectors and alphas and all that, they would exterminate these harmful, predatory, disgusting men, but they don't. They don't, because it makes it easier for them, the rest of them, to control us in other little ways, right?
Okay, so first of all, I'm not going to go out here and exterminate people, as you say, simply because you think it will make me an alpha and a protector and a provider. Not interested in proving these things to you, madam, first of all. Second of all, if you've come across a group of dudes who are, you know, actually legitimately planning these awful things and so on and so forth, report them to the authorities. And yes, there will be men who will come in, and if you have proof, they will take these men away. Simple as that. Like, there are absolutely, if women's safety is threatened, guys, society takes that very damn seriously. This is no joke, and nor should it shouldn't be taken as a joke either. If there are actual, you know, harmful things going on, right, where things are actively being planned, and, you know, they're picking out names and locations and all of these sorts of things, by all means, go out there, lock up the dudes, okay? But for the most part, this is not your average man. And second of all, it's going to, if you have proof of this sort of awful, terrible thing, men are going to come and take these dudes away. That's the way it works. You know, women's safety is threatened, guys. You can absolutely call in the police, you can call in law enforcement and so on. And you can rest assured there are dudes who are probably bigger who are going to just come and take those men away. Like, I'm so sick, by the way, of these women trying to manipulate men into doing things for them, by the way. You know, if you were a real protector and provider and you were a real alpha male, you would come and do this for me. It's like, no, first of all, not going to be manipulated by you. Second of all, if you actually have a legitimate security concern and you have evidence, that's what the police are for. That's what law enforcement is for. Okay, I'm not going to come in and solve your problems for you. I'm simply not interested. And I'm certainly not going to be exterminating people on your behalf. Provide evidence to law enforcement and go from there. Thank you.
At least I don't beat you. At least I haven't tried to unalive you. At least I haven't done all these horrible things to you. And again, all of this is because men know that if we actually packed up our shit and left and went somewhere else, the men would be screwed.
Leave, madam. Nobody's stopping you.
Everything as they know it, as they built it, would actually fall apart, and they know this. That's why they dig in their claws every single day more and more tightly, especially the more that women start to get more independent and out there by themselves. That's when men really want to clamp down, because it makes them very uncomfortable, the idea of women no longer contributing all of their labor to a society that benefits and upholds men.
Madam, if you want to go out there and you want to be strong and independent and you want to leave men behind, please do that. I am actively encouraging you. You know why, guys? Because what ends up happening is the women who are so strong and independent, you know what ends up happening? They make videos later on crying on TikTok about how men won't commit to them, about how they have a bunch of cats now, and it makes for fantastic content for the channel, guys. These strong and independent women, you know what they realize when they're like 35? They don't want to be strong and independent anymore. Life is hard. For example, they don't want to be a single mother. Maybe they accidentally had a kid with some bad boy, you know, or she goes out here and she's realizing that it's going to be hard to get married now or have children and so on. Like, I actively encourage these women to go out there and try the strong and independent woman lifestyle. If this is something that you want to do, that's fine. I'm not your dad. We're not here. Men are not here to tell you what to do anymore. but don't come crying when you make this decision and now you've realized that you've screwed your life up because no man wants you, right? Or because you have to work for the rest of your life. This is what you signed up for. You have to work until retirement. Good luck with the useless degree and being a coffee barista. Okay, somebody has to make the coffees. I have a lot of respect for the people who make coffees. Those of you who watch this channel, guys, in fact, I have a coffee right now. I love myself some coffee. Somebody has to make the coffees, okay? So if you want to go out there with your liberal arts degree and you want to be strong and independent and don't need no man, that is fine by me. No dude watching this video probably even cares. There's probably like 3 womanist dudes who hate watching this channel and they're fuming right now. But the rest of the thousands of men who are watching this video, they don't care, madam. Best of luck to you. Guys, we are going to be leaving today's episode there. That woman is clinically insane. You know, we're just out here oppressing her, so obviously we're making her insane. We're going to be leaving it there. Don't forget to leave your thoughts and your comments. Make sure you guys take care of yourselves, and I'll be seeing you all in the next one. Peace.